Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, and it's time for Boss Talks. We are live here on LinkedIn and YouTube and on Facebook in a Facebook group called the Apartments Management and Maintenance Support Group. And if you're joining us, I greatly appreciate it. And supporting our guest today, guest number 39 of Boss Talks, Ishea Shepherd. And she is really fun. I actually really enjoy not only talking to her, but also seeing the things she posts because she's authentically herself, which I love. And she really embraces just being herself, whether it's what she's wearing or just what she's saying or what she's doing. So I hope that it rubs off on more of us and that we can all feel more at peace with who we are and just being who we are. But today we're going to talk about some things that are near and dear to her, sparking joy in your workplace and what you're doing and leading with joy, really finding her friend group that has been in this industry of multifamily that has been pivotal in her career and really encouraging her and lifting her up to move forward and become a leader in the industry. And just the importance of, again, authenticity, because she lives that and it's awesome to see. She's been working for, the AMC Delancey Group Incorporated for, I think, her whole career. But she can tell me differently if that's not true. But from her LinkedIn, that's what I see and what she told me. So, but she is the assistant vice president for them. And they are based in Philadelphia. And it's kind of a neat setup they have. They have smaller communities, older communities kind of spread through the city. And the things they've had to do when it comes to centralization and really like becoming, in one place, but servicing all these smaller communities is kind of a good use case for all the communities and companies that are trying to do it now. So anyways, she has a lot to offer and I'm excited to talk to her today. Thanks for those that have already jumped on. Really excited to have a live audience, and I'm sure more will join us. As you know, I'm Evan Happel. I'm the host of Boss Talks. I'm with Community Boss, and our solution is to help you manage the physical spaces of your community, whether it's your parking, your amenities, even mapping. We bring it all together to really give you efficiencies and a great experience for your residents, even to the point of raising some much needed ancillary income or revenue in these tough times economically. So reach out to me if you have any questions about that. But otherwise, let's bring Ishea to the show.
Hey, Evan.
Ishea, thanks for being here.
Of course, I'm excited.
Yeah. So first of all, I love it when you do TikToks and everything. You did one for when Ty was on the show. And that was really fun. And then you just did a post for this.
Yes.
Which was really highlighting an aspect of what you want to talk about, which is around your friendships that you formed, which I really love. So we will get there. But before we get there, we're going to talk the really important questions, the hard-hitting questions, how we kick off the show, and it looks like somebody's saying there's an echo.
For both of us or just you?
Maybe it's me.
I don't know.
So maybe it's your
It could be me, which is
your speakers.
Yeah, hold on. I appreciate whoever is giving us grace to fix this because
I'm the one that's, and now I'm off camera.
Okay, I did my echo cancellation. Is that helping?
Can you guys hear me? It's fixed.
Oh, cool. Okay.
All right. We will move along like nothing happened.
Of course.
Fantastic. Thank you for letting us know. Good to go, guys. Let's do this. All right. All right, so let's kick it off with some questions.
Okay.
First off, we are, like I said, community boss. I like to ask questions around building community. It's a passion of mine personally. Just happened to work for community boss, and it just fits really well with it. So I just would love to know, you personally, what do you like to do professionally and or personally when it comes to building community?
So I would say on a professional level, as far as building community, I know Ty talked about it, but I am a part of the collective of Black women called Melanin and Multifamily.
Yep.
And it's a group that was founded by Monica Frazier. And it's essentially Black women who are in the multifamily industry, whether they're on the property management side or supplier side, or even like AEs for associations. And we really just support each other. It's a space to ask questions, to grow, to just really discuss anything that it's like helpful to people who are in our industry and also happen to be Black women. So since joining that group, I found like a lot of community and connection. I think it's actually how I even found you and Boss Talks, because someone else in the group was on here. So for right now, I would say like that's pretty much how I'm building community. And through it, I'm also finding like other groups. There's a group, Latinas in property management. So
Yep.
that's like really how I'm building community with people who have similar identities and trying to uplift each other, celebrate each other. And I guess on a personal note, I have like pretty much the same core friend group from like college, honestly,
Oh,
like
nice.
freshman year. So that is pretty, and as they make friends, I make friends, and that's how it's going. So I feel like finding new friendships as an adult can be like difficult to navigate, because I'm very much like, I'll be like, do you want to be friends? And my husband's like, you can't as an adult ask other adults like, do they want to be friends? And I'm like, I just need them to know that that's like what I'm trying to accomplish. So if they don't want a new
Hey,
friend, they can tell me. But
that just clears the air. That just says, hey, this is what I'm here for. This isn't
exactly.
just, hey, let's have coffee and move along.
Yeah.
Maybe this can be more. It's called a DTR. You got to define the relationship.
I'm all about this. I'm glad you called it that, because like as an adult, I feel like not enough people say that, and I'm like, no, I just want you to know my intentions. Like, I'm trying to be your friend. Are you looking for a new friend? Are you in the market? And that's pretty much how it goes for me.
No, actually, you know what? That's probably a good thing to do because I moved from a different place. I moved from Oregon to Washington, and making friends when you move can be very difficult. We've had people on the show that talk about how they move from one place to another and they use Bumble to meet people. Friendships, not even dating. That was their friendship avenue. Um, so yeah, even making friends can be hard, let alone, finding a significant other. Um, but yeah, when you're able to have the friendships through your friend group from high school or college, it is quite a lot easier for sure.
It does work. Yeah.
But Bumble, that was a new one for me. I was like, all right.
I think if I ever move, I might like be one of those people who has to find friends that way. Cause I'll just start an activity to make friends. So like in college, I played rugby because I was like, oh, I need some friends. And I was like, I wasn't good. In hindsight, there was probably a better way to make friends. But I was like, these people seem like they get along well. So
I'm just going to insert myself.
yeah, it's like I'll just hang out and possibly get hurt, but then I'll have a core friend group. So
There you go. That works.
yeah.
All right. So along those lines, if you were to have someone over for dinner, what would you make for them? Or would you make anything for them? Because we have a trend that a lot of my guests don't cook. So,
So I cook as needed. I'm very
okay.
fortunate. My husband is a really good cook, and like he's also very honest. So when I cook, he'll say things like, "That was edible," and I'm like, "Fact. It was edible. You did digest it, but was it good? Probably not." So I can make like macaroni and cheese, like baked macaroni and cheese, really well. I can only make sides, I guess. Like the proteins are not my strong suit. So I would just probably make a bunch of sides and it'd just be like a grazing station. where you could kind of just like eat as you see fit.
Hey, I like a good mac and cheese, especially if it's like legit noodles. Then you add like 5 cheeses
Yes.
and some cream and some seasoning, breadcrumbs probably on top, and then
For the
another
crunchy
smattering of
top.
cheddar on top.
Yeah, that's how I make it. But like my whole life, I thought that was like a meal. Like I was like, oh, mac and cheese is like a whole meal. And I got
All you got to
married,
do is
and
add some ham or something. Done.
so I'm gonna tell you, Evan, that's very controversial because I have tried that before. Like, oh, I'll put a protein in it, and I was like, yeah, like this is now it's a meal. And my husband was like, no, this you're trying to make a casserole, but this isn't even a casserole. Like it was a whole thing in our family for a while. So it's
And then some like greens on the side.
yeah, but
Boom.
it's salad. I'll have to let him know that apparently if I put the protein in it, it is a full meal, but we've been over that debate for a while and it apparently is not. Like you still have to make a separate meat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you made it for me, I'd be completely good with it. You can just make me some mac and cheese, throw some meat in there. I mean, when I was a kid, you made Kraft macaroni and cheese and threw hot dogs in it, and that was a meal. So,
I feel like the bar, like it really depends on also like your family dynamic because he is from like a 2-parent household. So they always ate like, like a starch, a protein, a vegetable. And like for me, same. If I put hot dogs in my mac and cheese, I was like, oh, this is good. Like I'm living great. And he's like, no. So I think that's like the funny thing about growing up. Your normal is your normal. And then you meet other people and they're like, no, that's not actually a fact.
okay. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
So you just make the mac and cheese and eat it yourself and then say, I guess you're getting something else for dinner.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah, it's true. All right. So once you've had your meal, you finish it off with a nice cup of coffee. What's your favorite flavor there?
I am like regular like I like Dunkin' Donuts, regular coffee, cream and sugar, like real plain. I I can also take a French vanilla, but like that's pretty much as adventurous as I get with coffee. I have
Okay.
to do better.
I mean, you don't though. Whatever your jam is, you roll with that. I tend to drink black coffee, but I think the thing is, if you can find really good coffee, you don't really need to add because it has its own flavors. It's kind of like drinking a nice glass of wine or
Mhm.
whatever, right? You got your flavor notes, we'll say.
Yeah, that's
So,
definitely true.
yeah. So, I think you can roll with a good cup of coffee without any added things. Splash of creamer, it's fine.
Just a little bit.
And then the donut, obviously.
Yes. Donuts. Boston cream glaze. I could pretty much eat
Oh,
all types of
Boston
donuts.
Boston cream for sure.
Yes.
For the win. Yes. I like a good apple fritter too.
Mm.
I do enjoy.
I feel like
But
those can be breakfast or dessert. That's why they go with so many things.
this is true. Yes. All right. Well, after the show, I'm going to go get a donut now. So
Yeah.
thank you. All right. All right. So we got the important stuff done. We know what you would eat, how you would make friends,
Mhm.
and what kind of coffee you would drink with a donut, obviously.
With a donut. Yes.
Yes. All right. Now, along the lines of what you were talking about building community, a big part of it has been the group that you mentioned.
Hmm.
And it seems like you guys like legit do stuff together. Like you went to Costa Rica,
The Bahamas.
Bahamas. Okay, yeah, I don't go on trips with my friends like that. So that's pretty awesome. And like was that was just for making memories, having fun? Was there more to it
So,
or
so it was so Melissa D. White she's like I think pretty well known in our industry, but she's also like just a professional in life and leadership coach. And a lot of the people who happen to be in Melanin and Multifamily, like she's our coach. And she was doing a retreat and like a mastermind retreat. So you go to the Bahamas and we stayed in this beautiful villa. There was a chef and you're just learning how to grow yourself and your business. And it was amazing. And
It sounds amazing.
it was like, it was great. We're trying to get her to do it again. But in addition to that, like we also spent a day like swimming and we were on a boat and we ate like lunch on the beach. So it was supposed to be only for like career development and professional development, but it just turned into so much fun. So it was like a dual purpose thing. It was great.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, you guys, that's part of what your group is about, is really supporting each other and like lifting each other up and progressing each other in the multifamily industry and your careers. And
Yeah.
but along with that is, you know, you guys you're tight. So that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So when that group formed, obviously there was a reason for forming it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so why do you think that is? Like the climate of this industry, a lack of really options in that regard, or what do you think?
Well, I hope you have Monica on one day because she's like the founder of the official group. But there was a few of us who were in the NAA's diversity leadership program together.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be transparent. I had never met another Black woman who was in this industry and was an executive. So for me, we got put in this group, you know, by the NAA, and we all kind of saw each other and were like, oh, wait, there's more. And it was truly like that. And it was just like this immediate bond that formed. And then when we started going to NAA, like in-person events, you know, compartmentalized, assembly delegates, all that kind of stuff, we were kind of like walking around as a group of maybe four to five of us. And then we would see other Black women. And like I said, I'm like, do you want to be friends? So I saw Ty, who I didn't know previously, and I said, oh, I love your outfit. Like, can I take your picture and put it on like LinkedIn? And she was like, if you want to, weird girl. And I was like, all right, I will. And every person that we kind of saw who we felt like either hadn't seen themselves like within these conferences or just probably wanted a friend group or professional friends, we kind of like reached out to them and connected. And Monica had this great idea of like, well, there's enough of us that let's make this a thing. So even like 2 weeks ago at Advocate, she organized like a brunch, a dinner, a happy hour, so we could all kind of get together and connect. And I think for the most part, it was born out of necessity because if you don't see yourself in spaces, you're less likely to feel welcome or to kind of contribute. And I know for me, since being a part of the group, I've been more comfortable like expressing myself. I'm on committees now. I just feel like I have a sense of support that I didn't have before. So I think it was born out of necessity, but now I'm just happy that it's like growing and that more people can kind of see themselves within the group.
Nice. And I see Monica Frazier's on there. Monica, thanks for starting that, because I think it's great that you guys have formed that group and have that support for each other, because you obviously saw a need for it. Before finding this group, you didn't have people to really lean on or talk to or see yourself in those different areas. So that's really great.
I was just gonna say, I think the biggest thing is like, even if you're at a great company, because I know my intro, you said like I've been here 8 years. I love my organization. They do a wonderful job. But sometimes it can be hard if you don't have like a tangible person to see and say, oh, she did this, so I could do this. So even if you're at a wonderful company, just having that group of people who have similar experiences makes a big difference.
Yeah. Well, again, it's great that you guys did it, because it's giving you confidence to be yourself more authentically, probably, and to see that, all right, I don't need to like pretend or, change how I talk, change how I dress, whatever it is. Because I know probably not too long ago, that was more common where people felt that way. And to a degree, people probably still feel that way. So Yeah, maybe you can even speak to that. Like, is there any pressure you've ever felt in that way?
Yeah, so I think especially like at the beginning of my career, there was definitely like a pressure to, I don't want to say assimilate, but try my best to kind of like fit into a mold of what people deemed professional or
Sure.
kind of what everyone else sitting at a table looked like. And once I realized, one, that the effort that I was putting into to try to be like other people was like effort that I could be putting into being better at my job, I actually got better at my job. Because it's like, if I'm spending so much time thinking of like, well, how would Evan say this? It takes me 2 times longer to say the thing. And then
Yeah.
also, I realized a lot of times, especially if you identify like as a Black woman, you're like, no one else is having these struggles. But even like my counterparts at work who might happen to be like white men, they still want to come and be themselves.
Mm,
So me showing up as myself allows them space to be their selves as well.
yeah.
So I would say, yeah, it definitely took a while, but kind of like once I started doing it, I'm fortunate enough to be at a company where no one was like, stop doing that. And so now I'm just kind of off the rails, Evan, and I'm waiting for someone to be like, Ishea, you cannot wear Jordans to work every day. It hasn't happened,
I
but
mean, why not?
well, that's what I say. I'm like, I don't every day I get dressed, and I'm like, is today the day? And so far, it hasn't been the day where they tell me I can't. So I'll keep everyone posted, but it's still going.
Also, I love that you like rock two worlds, right? You're wearing a blazer, but you got a t-shirt. What are you rocking today?
This is Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
So I try to wear graphic tees to spark conversation. So for instance, I don't know if anyone on here is like following sports, but with the women's NCAA championship, there was all that kind of like commotion about the trash talking with Angel Reese
Mm.
and Caitlin Clark. And Muhammad Ali is considered one of the best athletes of all time. And like he was a top tier trash talker.
Oh,
So
he was.
so for me, I wear this when people are like, "Oh, why are you wearing that?" I'm like, because like great athletes are traditionally trash talkers. Like Michael
Yeah,
Jordan talked so much trash. So I hope to like when people ask me about it, just remind them like whether it's a man or a woman, great athletes talk trash, and we should recognize that and support it because it also makes sports more interesting to watch.
right,
So I try to wear something to make people like ask me a question and then go from there.
right. No, that's fun. I I think that's true. Like sometimes we place too much on athletes specifically to be this like role model when all they were was somebody good at a sport.
Yeah, I I think it's like all they were is someone who's good at a sport, but also even like I'm in Philly, so like even as a Eagles person or a Phillies fan, it's like we talk trash as fans. So why wouldn't you expect like the person
Sure.
who's actually doing the work to be a trash talker? Like,
Yeah. 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 Can you dial that back? Honestly, though, when they get like penalized for celebrating or whatever, I'm always just like, how dumb. Like, that's fun to watch.
I I think that it makes everything so much more interesting, and even kind of like when I talk about like bring joy to work, like when I post myself dance, like I dance in the office because it's like obviously I do not have like a professional athletic bone in my body, but it's like if my team signs a lease renewal, like that's a win, and we can dance and we can enjoy ourselves because like this is our arena. So it's like to me that's what makes things fun and it makes life interesting. And I think it goes from sports to even multifamily.
Yeah. All right. So I think what we're doing today is we're going to start talking trash
Yeah.
on on LinkedIn. All right, guys, here it comes.
I'm not anti talking trash. Like I think as long as you can back it up, like it's more stating facts. It's only talking trash if you're not like good at it. So
Yeah. Well, it's all tongue in cheek and fun, right? I actually, so we joke about this, but I actually, not in our industry of multifamily, but in a tech industry that's over here. Um, on LinkedIn, I see them doing that, right? They're different companies and they like poke fun at each other. And it's hilarious. And it's so funny and fun to watch. And it's like, it's all on LinkedIn. So I think to a degree, we still have this dichotomy of people that view at LinkedIn as this place where you can't be yourself. Like you need to make everything very professional and reserved and like honestly, it's exactly what you're talking about when it comes to whether you're dressing a certain way or and how you talk, right? We still have this world where there's people that think your job means you dress very properly and you speak very properly, and that translates and is extended to things like LinkedIn. And then the other half that are like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to just be myself.
Well, I think it's also so strange to me in our industry specifically because it's like it's a people industry. So when I think of people that I want to work with or that I trust, I want to know who you are. And
Mhm.
so in multifamily, when people are like, this is professional, it's like being professional is being good at something and then getting paid to do it. So, like,
Yeah.
I am a professional in jeans, I'm a professional in slacks. Like, am I good at this thing? And does someone pay me to do it? Like that's the basis. So I hope that more people will get comfortable with being themselves because also why would you want to go somewhere and like spend 40 hours a week or more not being yourself? Like that's exhausting. So
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah, at our company, we're all very remote. We're very much a tech company and everything is like from your house or whatever. And our basis of communication and interaction on a day-to-day basis is through like Slack, right?
mhm.
So what do? We do like memes and like our general board, like people just throw jokes in there or whatever. So thankfully in my company, we're small and we do whatever we want basically. We have like this we definitely have this feeling of don't want to be corporate. So
I think, yeah, my company is smaller. So I think it does allow for us to not feel super corporate. And then I think it's also like, it's not bad to want to be corporate. So the president of my company is amazing. I love working for him. But when I tell you, like, he has walked past us, like, just dancing, and he makes no eye contact, Evan. Like, he just walks past, he goes where he's going, and then he goes back, and he'll never say what was happening. And I always tell people, like, they're like, oh, why doesn't he get in the videos? I'm like, no, he's never going to get in the videos, but he's also never going to not let us do it. So it's like, there's room to,
right.
if you are reserved by nature, like, you should be that person. But
Yeah.
if you're not, you shouldn't try to be.
Yeah. That's 100% true because a good portion of my company is not getting on camera. They're like, nope. I actually got one of our founders to do a boss talk, and I was really surprised, honestly. But the other one, no way.
It's so funny to me, like the varying personalities, because I ask him all the time, like, "Oh, I'm about to do a TikTok. Like Rihanna's doing the Super Bowl. What's your favorite Rihanna song?" And he's like, "I'll tell you, but you can't record me." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, cool. So that's not going to help because I'm doing the TikTok. So uh, thanks, but no thanks." And it's like I think that it's great that he feels comfortable saying like, "You're not going to peer pressure me into this, Ishea." And my CFO will let me record him, but he'll literally go, "Are you done?" And then he walks away from me and I'm like, cool, cool, cool. But we're all just being ourselves and I really enjoy it.
Yeah. No, that's funny. I think it'd be funny to get him being very uncomfortable on camera.
He it's just like I always tell people we sit next to each other as far as our offices. So I can hear him through the wall and he can hear me. And sometimes his conversations, like I'll be like, did you just tell someone like I'm done talking to you, goodbye? And he's like, I was
Mm,
done. And then he'll just hang up and I'm like, oh, I have to learn how to get better at that. I'll be on the phone with someone for 30 minutes and be like, I don't even want what you're selling, but I'm just trying to make conversation. He's like, no, if there's no reason to talk, I just tell them. So
mm,
I feel like we're both learning from each other.
yeah. All right. So Joel, the one that I did not name,
Mm-hmm.
that said he didn't say he wouldn't. Sorry. He doesn't like to be on like social media.
Yeah.
But he did just say, "You never asked me." So, you heard it here, folks. That's almost like saying I want to be on the show.
Yeah. He's saying that you didn't, a closed mouth can't get fed. So you never asked.
All
So
right.
now he has to come. I'll watch it.
Yeah. Yep. Joel, I guess you're going to be on the show, man. It's going to happen now. I'm going to ask. I guess he can still say no.
Yeah. He probably won't now. We're live. He has to.
I know. He has an audience of people that just saw him post that, and then I'm now verbally, publicly live talking about it. So now he has to.
Exactly.
Peer pressure. That's beautiful. Well, I mean, this kind of summarizes the idea of, I'm making up words now. Leading with joy, like having fun in the workplace. Is there anything else you want to add to that idea of just having joy where you are and like leading others and being an example?
So I guess it's not necessarily something I'm going to add. I just want to make, I always like to, this is like me on my soapbox now. We work so hard, and I think I'm a mom. So I think about like how when you send your kids to school, they say like, oh, your children spend so much time with their teachers and blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing. Like we spend so much time with our coworkers or in these spaces. Like, why wouldn't you want them to be fun? And why wouldn't you want like joy and happiness and just all of these feelings? And I don't think that people should ever feel like they're going to be thought of as less professional for being like happy and joyful. I know for me, a lot of times people either think I'm younger than I am or they don't think I'm in charge because I'm so happy. And I'm like being bitter doesn't make me experienced. So just knowing that like they can both exist. You can be joyful and happy and lead your teams with joy and still be professional and still do well and excel. I wish more people knew that, and I wish more leaders led that way because it sets the tone.
Oh, it does, for sure. Yeah. I think sometimes we don't recognize that, right? We don't recognize I'm in a leadership position. The way I interact with the people that I supervise or lead has an effect, and like it can be a good or a bad effect, right? I mean,
and I think even like if you think about like statues, like I've never seen a portrait of like a smiling leader, and it's like they should be like like you think about all of these people who we kind of look up to, and it's like a lot of them were probably happy and joyful and joking, and that's not the image we're presented with, but that's what people probably enjoyed about them. So like I'm hoping that more people will be themselves and be happy.
But also we always make statues, at least historically for a long time, of people that were like conquering other people. So I don't know if they were joyful people.
So, I've never been a conqueror or anything like that, but a win is a win. So I don't know if these people should have statues, but like if they had them, I'm sure after they finished conquering, they were smiling. Like,
oh, that's true. That's true. They went to the pub, they had a drink, celebrated their victory. Okay, like, you got a point.
I'm not saying they should have been happy, but it's like if I'm Washington, I'm crossing the Delaware. He was smiling when he got to the other side, Evan. He was done.
Okay, this is true. Maybe he took a nap though. He was probably tired.
That's facts. So both could be true.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad we tackled that topic. No, but I really do agree with you when it comes to finding joy in what you're doing. There's been jobs I've had that I had people that were over me that, I mean, it was not a good time. So it definitely didn't make for a good experience for myself. And especially when I was younger in my career, it just brings upon stress on people. And when this is what you do most of your day, like what does that's not good for your health. So
I mean, it's not good for your health. And then it's like, I guess the biggest thing is you take that home. So if I'm at a job that I hate for 8 to 9 hours, then I'm home and I'm frustrated and I'm stressed out at home. And I think, especially like in multifamily, we have a lot of stressors that have nothing to do with like your leaders or your colleagues. So if at minimum I can help like my service team or my property managers by them knowing like at least Ishea is going to support me and celebrate me and try to make my day better, that's like to me a bare minimum because our industry is just, it's a tough industry and people are here because they love it. So why not like celebrate that?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's celebrate. Let's have a little more fun. Let's bring joy to the table and make that front and center, which I think NAA really tries to have a fun aspect to it. And, you bring everybody together for things like Apartmentalize. We're definitely having a fun element there. And then they have parties and all the things. So
Yeah,
at least that's an aspect.
It's great to go to, great to meet people, have fun. It's totally a good example of like how to have joy in a professional setting.
Yeah. And you just went to Advocate, right?
Yes.
How was that? I've never been, don't know what it's like. So I'd love to kind of get a download from your perspective of what that is.
So Advocate, so I always try to like the three big NAA ones, I like try to qualify them. So Advocate is way smaller than Apartmentalize.
Sure.
And the vibe is more like you do a lot of stuff with your local affiliate because you're going to Capitol Hill and you're like lobbying. So you meet congressmen and those type of people. And you just are really talking about the things that are like affecting our industry as far as like rent control, whatever the topic is. So it's good because it kind of gives you a good idea of like, I don't know about anyone else, but for me, it's very easy to feel like in my bubble. But when you go to Advocate, you're realizing like, hey, I'm a part of this huge national industry and these things are affecting all of us. And like, I have less than 1,000 units, but I'm on the Hill with someone from Greystar who has 2 billion units and we're all fighting the same fight. So it builds kind of like a sense of community and camaraderie in that way. And then the committee meetings are always like great to go to and just understand again more of like what's going on. I like Advocate a little bit more than Apartmentalize. And that's only because at Apartmentalize, you walk so much, Evan. You know. It's like
this is true.
It's like 20,000 steps. And I am like overstimulated because I'm like, I want to get free stuff. How many cozies do I need? So
you need all the cozies.
like I'm like, then you have to make that decision in real time when you're like packing up, like, do I need all the free things that I took? Does someone in the hotel want them? So I love them both, but Advocate to me is just like more calm and you really get to kind of meet people. Whereas Apartmentalize, it's like a blur for me every time.
That is true. It is a blur. I hadn't been before. Last year was my first year at Apartmentalize, and I was taken aback by the sheer size of the trade show floor. It was insane. Like, I don't know, is it 3 football fields or more? I don't even know. Like it's
I lost a friend there. Like I was like, oh, I'm going over to this booth. And she was like, okay, we'll be back in 30 minutes. And I was like, I don't know where you are. Like, yeah, I love Apartmentalize, but like I could have met you there and I don't remember. Like that's what I mean.
That's exactly right. You wouldn't remember because you met 10,000. How many people are it's like 11, 12,000 people? I mean,
so I know in Atlanta they said that they're expecting like 19,000 people.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, and
it, but it's a lot.
Yeah. And well, and what's funny about that is you like count the wins of people coming to your booth, and it's like a fraction of a percent of the people in attendance, right? You got 19,000 people there. I definitely didn't have 19,000 people come by my booth.
There's also so much education. Like It's overwhelming because even this year, I think I have 4 people who are like friends of mine or colleagues that are speaking. And I'm like, do your times overlap? What is the fastest way to get from your talk to your talk? And like, it takes planning. I think of apartmentalize like taking your kids to Disney. Like you have to go at a plan. You have to know when you're stopping for water. Like it's a whole situation.
Make a plan.
Yeah.
That's funny. So Stephanie Anderson, she just hopped on and she was actually asking, are there any tips and tricks that you would give to other people that have never been before? Like, this is their first time going and apartmentalize. How do I prepare? How do I get through the classes? How do I walk that floor?
So one, get the app. There is an apartmentalized app. The app tells you where all the booths are. It tells you what the sessions are. You can like click on them. That's really helpful to remind you because if you go to the trade show floor, and say you have 30 minutes before an education session you want to get to, you're gonna miss the session. Like, don't try to do too much. Comfortable shoes, whatever that is for you. For some people, it might be heels. For some people, it might be sneakers. But like, wear comfortable shoes. And I would also say it's okay to say no to free stuff. Like last year specifically, I got so much stuff, and then I was like, Ishea, you did too much. Like, you don't even need to take all of these things home. You don't do that. And depending on your company, be honest about the work you're going to get done. Because like every year at Apartmentalize, you see people who are like in the little areas, like trying to work, and it's like, you played yourself. You're not getting any work done. You might be able to answer a few emails, but like there's too much happening for you to like work thoroughly. And I played myself last year because I was the only one from my company who went, and we're in Philly. So Apartmentalize was in San Diego, and the time difference, I would like get in from parties at, I guess, 2 a.m. that time. And then here they would be calling me for a Zoom at 9 a.m. So it's 6 a.m. there. And like one time I got on and I was just like, my boss was like, get off, girl. Why are you doing this to yourself? And I was like, thank you. I lied. I can't do any of this stuff while I'm here. And I came back and I was refreshed and I was able to work. But to Stephanie's original question, comfortable shoes, get the app, and then be okay with not getting to everything. Like maybe have some friends and divide and conquer. And be like, I can't go to this booth. Are you going there? Can you get me like the information and contact, and then meet together and have lunch and talk about it. You cannot get to every booth. I tried hard and it was not.
The most important booth that you need to go to is Community Boss. So write that down. Community Boss. And it is our plan. And I need everybody to vote in the chat to make sure this happens, that we're going to have an element that is Boss Talks in our booth where we can do a little snippet, your own little Boss Talk from NAA. So put it in that chat. Say, yes, we're doing it, because
yes, everyone should stop by.
Yes, stop by. I want to do all the Boss Talks from NAA.
Well, also, I think you've had a good amount of the people who are like in the Excellence Awards on here. So you should do a recap. Because
let's stop by. Let's do one.
Lori. Yeah, you've had probably like more than half.
Look at this.
Yes.
That's pretty. That's a good. I've had a good little roster, haven't I?
I mean, if you want us to also talk trash, just let me. I'm gonna go. So just let me know if that's the vibe we're taking.
Wait. So are you guys vying for the same award?
So a lot of us. So Vanessa, myself, and there's another person are going for Emerging Leader of the Year. Lori is going for Educator of the Year. And then
shout out to Lori.
Yep, Lori, love her. And then Dana Duckworth, who you haven't had, but you should have, Monica Frazier, and Liz Newkirk are going for DE&I Champion. So I think there's like 4 or 5 categories, but I just was like looking at it and I was like, oh, a lot of these people have been on Boss Talks. So
because they're all bosses. That's why.
Yeah. So you could just have like a roundup. You would probably be one of the only multifamily podcasts that have had this many of us of this class.
Oh man, I need that soundbite. All right, we're clipping it. We're gonna put it out there, and then I'm gonna tag all the people that I've had and clips to their podcast episodes or lives. Yep, here we go.
Yes.
That's a claim right there. Mark
You've
it
done
down.
a good job of finding the bosses before we even knew.
Yeah, you guys weren't even nominated yet.
Nope.
Oh my gosh. I think it's because of Boss Talks.
It could be. It could
kidding.
mean like to be on the show and then become a
finalist. It's like this jump forward.
Exactly.
So I guess everybody should get on the show, because apparently being on the show means you become an award finalist for NAA.
Yes. It's a big deal.
All right. Soundbite right there. Mark that down. I hope my team is listening. We got to get these marked down so that we get them appropriately indexed and out there.
Edit them, because you had Eddie Perez was on here too, right?
Not yet, but he's on the list. He will be later. Year. Okay.
Yeah, so you have a roster, Evan. It's going good.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all good to know. And I want to just shout you out. You are, like you said, an Emerging Leader of the Year nominee for Excellence Awards. Lori, she wanted to make sure that was made known, which I agree. So congratulations for the nomination, and good luck in potentially winning.
I hope so. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's an honor to be nominated. Like, it is, but I want to win. So I'm not going to pretend, but it's great to be nominated.
So can you give your speech as to why you are the choice in winning this award? Why should you win?
So I want to say I think everyone nominated could win.
Okay.
Speaking for myself, think that I should win because I'm like Rocky. It's an underdog story. I'm from a itty bitty company in Philly. We have less than 1,000 units, and I didn't know anyone 2 years ago. And in the last 2 years, I've really just kind of poured myself into being a leader within the NAA and my local affiliate. So I'm on 3 national committees. I'm vice chair of one of them. I am NAAEI faculty, so I facilitate the CAM and the CAMT and the CALP. I also am a member of Melanin and Multifamily, which is a collective that I'm excited to be a part of, and I'm an executive at my own company. And I think that I'm just a good example of your career can look however you want it to look, and you can still be successful and do well in our industry. Yes. I don't think people actually vote anymore. The voting might be closed, but if you could vote for me, people.
If you could throw in a couple extra votes, then do that. And I'm assuming this is all going to be presented and awarded at Apartmentalize.
Yes. So there's I think there's a brunch, and it's only open to 400 attendees. So like out of the 19,000 people, only 400 people are going to get to come. But I will say, if either myself or Dana or Monica or anyone that I am really close friends with wins, you're going to know. Like, it's going to be no one else is going to make it a big deal, but I'm going to make it a big deal. So
as you should. And as soon as you win, and I heard, is it Vanessa that she's also vying for the same?
Yes.
Okay. So now, again, of course you want to win. You would be happy for Vanessa if she won.
Yes. So I would be happy for anyone.
Sure. But in either case, and whomever else is nominated but hasn't been on Boss Talks, make sure you stop by our booth, which was just shared in the chat. 916. There it is. Mark it down. Again, put it on the app. Make sure you circle it. You stop by. You say hello. We're going to have fun activities like being on Boss Talks. And when you're a winner, you go live and tell the world that you're a boss.
Yes. I'm happy for anyone who wins, but I'm hoping to win. It's Atlanta. I may or may not be packing like money guns to just get real crazy. So I hope everyone does well, but I'd like to win.
All right. Maybe I need to have a special show where everybody, instead of talking why they should win, they should talk trash like it's going into a boxing event.
I feel like that's okay. Like I think that
Because
you know,
it would obviously be for fun.
yes, it's fun, it's competitive. It's like I was watching this clip where they were at the All-Star game and Kobe Bryant was like, I want to stick Michael Jordan. And I was like, who says that? Then I was like, I would say that. Like it's okay to be like, I want to beat the best. So I feel like we're in categories with other people who are great. Like Vanessa's great. So I love her, but I want to
Yeah,
beat her. Like
sure. I think Vanessa has it in her to talk some trash too.
she's from Kansas City. I'm from Philly. We just had that
Mhm.
Super Bowl
She's
debacle.
on
Like,
here. What you got, Vanessa?
I mean, I'm not saying that this is like the Super Bowl all over again, but I'm saying it's feeling real, you know, but with love.
With love. With love. I mean, at the end of the day, athletes, they shake hands,
Yeah. And then
right?
we'll have a beer after. Like, whoever
Yeah.
wins, like, I don't know what you drink, Vanessa. We can have a margarita, we can have whatever, but like, if I win, they don't give you the trophy then, but I'm just gonna sit a paper next to me that said I won while we share our drink. And she could do the same.
And you guys can wear your football jerseys while we're
Mhm.
doing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. She's saying Super Bowl showdown round 2.
Yes.
So she's here for it.
Yeah, she's a competitor. Like
Charlotte, there's no hugging in this.
no.
This is we're bringing it.
So Charlotte has such a kind soul. And it's like I appreciate her support. And we can hug after, but it's like, when we're getting into character from now till June, it's a stare down. But then
Oh
after
gosh.
June, we can be best friends.
All right. I want to see the smack talk start on social media. Like, this is where it began, people. All
Yes.
right. So it's gonna start going down. So
Yes.
bring it, Vanessa. I want to see your best smack talk.
Vanessa, I hope you're ready, Vanessa. This is like Ali versus Frazier. Like I've been waiting for someone to tell me it was okay to do this. So
And you're wearing your Ali shirt. So what is it? Gosh, I'm gonna say it wrong. What's his famous quote?
so the one I like is when he said, like, I said I was the greatest even before I knew it. Because that's what I'm manifesting. I'm saying that I'm gonna win even before I know I'm gonna win.
Okay. That's better than the one I was gonna say. So perfect. Because I was gonna butcher it anyways. All right. Well, I must say this has been fun and joyful, joy-filled, and my cup is filled to the brim right now. I'm gonna get off of this call with a smile on my face, and I hope everyone else that is watching and participating will also, and they will have a great rest of their day. So, Ishea, is there anything else you want to add before we wrap things up?
No, thanks for having me, and thanks for everyone who's watching. And again, just shout out to Melanin and Multifamily and all
Yep.
of my friends who are watching or will watch later.
Yes. Thank you for shouting that out. And if anybody is in that and wants to post the URL, the website, in the chat so others can check that out, especially if they want to join and be a part of it. Definitely want that to get out there so people can join that group because I know they would love to support you.
Yes.
So just like Ishea jumped on and Vanessa and Lori and Joe Ellis and Ty and just so many others and those that have been currently and recently nominated for Excellence Awards with NAA who've been on the show. But even if you haven't been nominated, they hadn't been nominated yet. Maybe this is your opportunity to jumpstart and get going. So get on Boss Talks, jump out of your shell, take a risk, do something a little bit different than what you're used to. Get live and have an audience because it's fun, right?
Yes.
So thank you so much for participating in the audience. And if you're interested in being on Boss Talks, please reach out. I'd love to have you on the show and get you on the list because it's every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's my goal to elevate all the bosses of the multifamily industry, including you. So reach out. Until next Wednesday, it's been Boss Talks, and thank you for listening.